Episode 24, The Weight of Witness. The safe house felt smaller when they returned from the courthouse. Marcus counted heads as Agent Reeves locked the door behind them. Carmen, Miguel, Tommy, Ray, Maria Santos, himself. 6 people who'd crossed a line they could never uncross. The living room television was on, tuned to the local news. Agent Martinez stood near it, her hand hovering over the dial like she wanted to turn it off but couldn't quite decide. "You should sit," she said. Marcus felt his stomach drop. What happened? Agent Martinez turned up the volume. A blonde reporter stood outside the federal courthouse, microphone in hand, hair perfect despite the wind. Confirmation today that 18-year-old Carmen Santos appeared voluntarily before a federal magistrate to deny her brother's kidnapping claims. Sources close to the investigation say Miss Santos is cooperating with federal authorities in what may be a major racketeering case against Diego Santos, alleged head of a South Bronx criminal organization. Maria Santos made a sound like she'd been struck. Carmen moved to her mother's side, but Maria held up a hand, stopping her. "Don't," Maria said quietly. "Just don't." The reporter continued. Santos's attorney, Robert Kaplan, issued a statement calling the proceedings a travesty of justice and claiming his client's sister has been coerced by federal authorities. Meanwhile, neighborhood residents have expressed shock at the allegations against Santos, who is known for his community involvement and charitable work. "Charitable work," Tommy muttered. "That's beautiful." Agent Reeves turned off the television. "Diego knows," he said unnecessarily. "He's known since his guy spotted Carmen at the courthouse, but now it's public, official." "So what happens now?" Miguel asked. His voice was flat, exhausted. Agent Johnson appeared from the kitchen, holding a phone. Her expression told Marcus everything before she spoke. "We need to talk," she said. "All of you." They gathered around the dining table like it was a funeral. Maybe it was. The death of whatever illusion they'd been holding on to, that this might somehow work out clean. Agent Johnson set down a notepad covered in her precise handwriting. "Prosecutor Walsh just called. Diego's lawyers have filed an emergency motion claiming Carmen's testimony was obtained under duress. They're demanding she be released from federal custody immediately." "She's not in custody," Ray said. "She's here voluntarily. That's what we'll argue in court. But the motion puts pressure on the timeline." Agent Johnson looked at Carmen. "The magistrate wants you back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., to confirm again on record that you're here of your own free will and that no one is preventing you from leaving." Carmen's face went pale. "Tomorrow? Again?" "Diego's lawyers are smart," Agent Johnson said. "They're forcing us to produce you repeatedly, knowing that every public appearance increases your visibility, makes you a target." "So what do we do?" Marcus asked. "You appear," Agent Johnson said to Carmen. "You tell the truth, and we build the case as fast as we can so we can move you somewhere safer." "How long?" Miguel's question hung in the air. Agent Johnson didn't answer immediately. When she did, her voice was careful. "Walsh is starting depositions this afternoon. He wants to interview each of you separately, get everything on record while it's fresh. Miguel, you're first. 2 p.m. Miguel nodded slowly. Marcus watched his friend's face, saw the weight settling there, the understanding that every word Miguel spoke would be used to destroy Diego, to tear apart the Santos family completely. "What about our families?" Tommy asked. "They see the news too. They know Diego knows." Agent Reeves pulled out his own notepad. "We have surveillance teams on all of them. Mrs. Williams, Mrs. Rodriguez, Mrs. Tucker, Mr. Ritchie. If Diego makes any move toward them, we'll know." "Surveillance," Ray said quietly. "That's what you had at the warehouse, too. Didn't help me much when they grabbed me." The room went quiet. Ray's hands were on the table, fingers tapping in a regular rhythm that Marcus recognized as anxiety. "Ray's right," Marcus said. "Surveillance doesn't stop Diego. It just means you'll know about it after." Agent Johnson met his eyes. "What do you want me to say, Marcus? That we can guarantee their safety? I can't. The best protection your families have is that Diego knows we're watching. He knows that if anything happens to them, it proves our case against him, makes him look guilty." "Unless he's already guilty," Tommy said. "Then who cares?" Maria Santos spoke for the first time since they'd returned. Her voice was hoarse. "He won't hurt them. Not yet. Diego is many things, but he's not stupid. He knows that if something happens to your families now, everyone will know it was him. He'll wait. He'll be patient. She looked at her daughter. That's what makes him dangerous. He doesn't need to act now. He can wait months, years, and when something finally happens, it'll look like an accident, a robbery gone wrong, a fire, something that can't be traced back to him. Carmen's eyes filled with tears. "Mommy, I'm not blaming you," Maria said. "I'm telling you the truth. You did the right thing, but the right thing has consequences, and those consequences don't end when this case ends. They last forever." The words settled over them like ash. Marcus felt them in his chest. The understanding that there was no clean ending to this story, no moment when they could go home and resume their lives. Whatever they'd been before walking into that federal building, they weren't anymore. Agent Johnson checked her watch. "Miguel, you have 2 hours before your deposition. I suggest you eat something. Rest if you can. Walsh is thorough. He'll want to know everything." Miguel stood slowly. Carmen reached for his hand, but Maria's sharp intake of breath stopped her. The older woman looked away, jaw tight. Marcus watched Miguel walk toward the bedroom, shoulders hunched like he was carrying something heavy. Maybe he was. The weight of betrayal. The knowledge that his words would put Diego in prison would destroy what was left of the Santos family. "I'll go with him," Marcus said, standing. Agent Johnson nodded. 30 minutes. Then I need to prep him." Marcus found Miguel sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at the wall. The room was sparse. 2 twin beds, a dresser, a single window with heavy curtains drawn. It smelled like industrial cleaner and old carpet. "You okay?" Marcus asked, knowing the answer. Miguel laughed without humor. "Yeah, man. I'm great. About to spend the afternoon telling federal prosecutors every detail of Diego's operation, every location, every name, every dollar I counted. They're going to ask me about things I saw, things I did. And I'm going to answer, because that's the deal. That's what keeps us alive." Marcus sat on the other bed. "You didn't have a choice." "Everyone has choices," Miguel said. "I chose to work for Diego. I chose to count his money, to learn his operation. I told myself it was to protect Carmen, to protect you guys. But that's bullshit, isn't it? Part of me liked it, liked feeling important, liked having Diego treat me like I mattered. You do matter. Not like that." Miguel's voice was bitter. "Not like I'm somebody. In Diego's world, I mattered. I was learning the business. I had his trust. In 2 years, maybe I would have been running corners. In 5, maybe I would have had my own crew. That's what he was offering me, Marcus. A future. A future as a criminal. A future as somebody." Miguel stood, pacing the small room. "You got Colombia. Tommy's got his boxing, his strength. Ray's got his brain, his calculations. What do I got? A draft notice sitting in my mailbox, and a mother who works herself to death in a factory." Marcus felt the words like a punch. "So what are you saying? You regret this?" Miguel stopped pacing. "I'm saying I understand why people choose Diego's world. Because the other world, the legal world, the straight world, it doesn't want people like me. It wants people like you. Smart enough for Colombia, special enough to escape. That's not fair, isn't it?" Miguel turned to face him. "Be honest, Marcus. If I hadn't gotten involved with Diego, if none of this had happened, would you have taken me to Colombia with you? Would you have found some way to bring me along?" Marcus opened his mouth, then closed it. The truth was complicated. He'd thought about his friends, worried about them, felt guilty about leaving, but had he actually planned to do anything about it? Or had he just been planning to leave, to escape, to save himself? "I don't know." Marcus admitted quietly, "I wanted to help, I just didn't know how." "Yeah," Miguel sat back down. "Nobody does. That's the problem. So guys like Diego, they step in. They offer something real. Money, respect, protection. And yeah, it comes with a price. But at least it's something." A knock on the door interrupted them. Agent Johnson's voice. "Miguel, we need to start prep." Miguel stood. At the door, he paused. "Tell me something, Marcus. When this is over, when we're in witness protection with new names in some new city, you think Colombia will still take you? You think they want Marcus Williams, survivor of the Bronx? Or you think they want Marcus Williams, federal witness in a racketeering case? Guy who can't use his real name, can't talk about where he's from?" Marcus didn't have an answer. Miguel nodded like he'd expected that. "That's what I thought," Miguel said, and left. Marcus sat alone in the bedroom, Miguel's questions echoing in his head. Outside, he heard voices. Agent Johnson taking Miguel to another room for the deposition prep. Tommy and Ray talking quietly in the living room. Maria Santos crying softly in the kitchen. He thought about his mother's letter, hidden under his mattress back home. Thought about her voice on the phone yesterday, telling him she understood, that she was proud. But did she really understand what he'd sacrificed? What they'd all sacrificed? The Columbia scholarship could be deferred 2 years. Agent Johnson had confirmed it this morning. 2 years in witness protection, living under a false name, and then maybe he could go back, resume his education, become the person his father had dreamed he'd be. But would that person still be Marcus Williams? Or would it be whoever the federal government decided he should be? Some manufactured identity with a manufactured history, living a manufactured life. Marcus pulled out the small notebook Agent Martinez had given him. She'd suggested they write down their thoughts, their memories. Before you forget, she'd said. Before the new life starts erasing the old one. He opened to a blank page and stared at it. What was worth remembering? The basketball court on 163rd Street? Sal's diner? The rooftop where they'd spent summer nights talking about futures that seemed possible then? Or was it better to forget? To let that life die so the new one could live? Marcus started writing, not sure what he was trying to capture. Just words, flowing onto the page like blood from a wound. My name is Marcus Williams. I am 18 years old. I grew up in the South Bronx. My father died when I was 12. My mother works at Columbia University. I had 3 best friends. We were going to escape together. We were going to survive. He stopped writing. The past tense felt like a betrayal. But it also felt true. They weren't those people anymore. They were something else now. Something forged in the warehouse darkness, in the federal building fluorescent light, in the courthouse where Carmen had publicly chosen them over her brother. Witnesses. That's what they were. Not friends, not neighbors, not people with histories and futures, just witnesses to something terrible, something that would define them forever. Marcus heard Miguel's voice from the other room, muffled through walls, heard Agent Johnson asking questions, heard Miguel answering. Each word another nail in Diego's coffin. Each sentence another brick in the wall separating them from the lives they'd known. He closed the notebook and went to the window, pulled back the curtain just enough to see the street. It was a quiet neighborhood in Queens, far from the Bronx. Nice houses with small yards, cars parked neatly at curbs, a couple walking a dog. Normal life. The kind of life Marcus had dreamed about. The kind of life that was supposed to be waiting for him at Columbia. But looking at it now, through the safe house window, it felt as foreign as a photograph from another country. He couldn't imagine himself there. Couldn't imagine any of them there. A car turned onto the street, moving slowly. Marcus tensed, watching it. Dark sedan, tinted windows. It cruised past the safe house, brake lights never flashing. Probably nothing. Probably just someone lost, looking for an address. But Marcus watched until it disappeared around the corner, his heart pounding, knowing that every car, every shadow, every sound could be Diego's next move. And knowing that no matter how many federal agents were watching, no matter how many promises of protection they received, the fear would never completely go away. Because Maria Santos was right. Diego could wait. Diego could be patient. And when he finally moved, months from now, years from now, it would look like an accident, like bad luck, like anything except what it really was. Revenge for the betrayal that started today in a courthouse, with Carmen Santos telling the truth.
Thanks for watching our stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic adventures. Thanks for watching our stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic adventures.